excitement, and so I've noticed.
It seems to me that the idea of trying to extend the village by creating more historic, quaint places, the created historic places just somehow don't cut it. A place that has grown, the village has grown individual unit by individual unit with the individual people, the individual families. It's their energy that has gone into it, and it developed this personality over a long period of time with a variety of inputs. But to try to manufacture that going up 7, I think that there are a number of examples that this just doesn't work. So the idea of making that corridor between, including the lake, the land, and the transportation systems there, what you all have done by creating different centers or nodes of energy along that line, it's kind of the principle of, if you have just the one thing, people come for that, and that's very nice, and then they go away and they've seen it. But if you have a variety of things that relate to each other geographically and transportation-wise, and in terms of services that have different flavors, but that have a variety of sources of energy in an area, that you tend to get a much more vibrant, interesting place. You get a place where people are far more likely to come and spend more time, where people are likely to be delighted to live in one or another of these. It's like having a group of personalities that are involved. So I really like the idea that Shelburne Village has its space, its personality, and its energy, and that these other developments, it may be just the one that's up the road there that is a kind of a compilation of what we've heard tonight, or it might be a number of places. Well, a number, fingers of one hand perhaps, but that something like that is the direction that would be much more interesting and more viable in the long run.
Anyone else? Matt? No? Sure. Kate.
I appreciate all the work everybody has put into this, and I know what a tremendous challenge it was. And I'm so impressed with your output. I just wanted to say that I really appreciate this this scheme right here, because to me, as I was wondering what you all were going to come up with, I think this had a little bit of what I was imagining, in the sense that it addresses the road as a whole, the entire space, and it kind of distills some of the things that are maybe great potentials about that space, which are its liveliness, in contrast to the village, which is sort of an artifact from a different age. And so I think that for us, the way to think about this part of town is to not think of it as having a kind of conventional relationship to the village. In other words, that it would have a new relationship to the village, one that would be about action and connectedness to Burlington, and it just would be a very different kind of place. And I just think this scheme really captures that potential in ways that I think will be very provocative for us to consider in the years to come. And I thank you for all your work.
Can I just follow up on that? I don't want Mr. Lee to feel too famous, but The reason I like this is that, first of all, it destroys two things. It destroys the concept of the American, the straight highway. And the second is that it destroys the possibility of it becoming a strip road, because you've wiped out on each side the possibility that you could just put up one tractor supply after another. The thing I like most about it, and you probably won't like this remark, is that you could actually do it. I mean, you could do it piece by piece. You could do it section by section until eventually, you know, 100 years from now, you would have accomplished the whole thing. And I think that makes it very attractive.
Anyone else? If not, well, I would like to join the chorus of thanks for all of the work that the students have done and that their professors have done. And I think that even those folks who were not selected to present, our hats are also off to you folks. We know that there was a tremendous amount of work and effort put in, and I'd like to thank you all again one more time. Gail. Well, that's a very good and important question. We will. I've just negotiated a deal with Matthew to keep the posters for 1 week, and I'll carry them back to Norwich on foot if I have to.
Since we're going to talk about the leash law on Tuesdays, any way they could be behind us?
Well.
We'll be watched.
Yes. Oh, yes. Like I said, Matthew has said I can hold on to them for 1 more week. And so your meeting is Tuesday. Yeah, perfect. Okay. Well, yes, in terms of addressing Gail's question, yeah, I don't know what extent we would be able to get PDF files or things like that, but at the very least, we can photograph them, and we can ask for copies of text and files and things like that. Now, I believe that the Shelburne News, and Margot's not here, but I think also Margot was going to be out of town. But they had indicated some willingness to give a fairly high profile to those folks whose plans were selected for presentation tonight. So I think we can look forward to something in the Shelburne News, maybe the 6 selected and the second People's Choice Award winner. I don't know what form that will take, but I think it'll at least give it some more exposure. There's some idea, some discussion that's been done back and forth about trying to create some kind of booklet that hasn't been worked out. But we really definitely want to memorialize the work and effort in some way. We just can't give you a specific answer about what that will be. But with today's technology, we can make copies of things and copies and more. We'll make lots and lots of copies and have them available. And I really do think that the challenging question is going to be, how do we, I think there's going to be some mulling over of everything for a while, but having access to them and pulling them up on your computer, if not pulling them out of a drawer, will be something that people like you and the other members of the Planning Commission might do on occasion as you work. Yeah. Shellac them. Okay, we'll just tell them you can't get them back. You just. Well, we might have to. Dick.
I think having the presenters made a huge difference. Yeah, I looked at these yesterday, and I'm trying to contemplate what you're thinking, what you're doing, and I'm trying to think which one is the least dangerous. And not understanding them, but then when you came in and you presented what your vision was, it all kind of fell into place. And I think we need that. We need to hear that, so maybe Bear can produce a few copies for us as well, so we can review this thing.
Bear's been great about giving us copies.
He has, yes.
He's a great guy.
And,
I think since Dick is the chair of the Planning Commission, I should probably let that be the concluding remark if there's nothing else. Thank you all. Safe journey back to Northfield for the students and everybody else going back there. Thanks again.